sunshine.
Dear Jonathan, I'm falling in love. My heart's got a beat, it's beating the drums.
It's proper cold, right? There's this proper cold wind, and I decided not to bother putting underwear on. And the cold wind's going right through my trousers. I'm a bit cold. Does anyone remember the Future Heads? They were good for a bit, weren't they? Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, all that oh-ohing. When I was a child, living in denial, I was afraid of what might be. Hiding in the darkness, hiding on the street, so what was following me? All that rubbish. I'll be honest, I quite liked the Future Heads. Hello, Dougie. Having a sniff. Oh, windy and cold. Cold wind. How close shall I let him get? About there. And stop. Good boy. Wait. Close. Come on. Close. Good boy, aren't you? Do you ever see anyone smashing glass? Somewhere like that. Or if it's on the side of a road, or outside a pub. I don't give a fuck where it is, yeah? If you see someone intentionally smashing glass, do me a favour and punch them in the face. Just punch them right in the nose. In fact, better yet, pick the glass up and force it into the face. Just ram it back into their face. It'll cut your hand up a bit, but it'll save dog paws. It'll save vet bills. It'll save animals in the wild like foxes and shit like that, you know. You know, we get foxes in streets and stuff, yeah? Well, they're cutting their paws open as well, and they ain't going to the vets to get it healed. Fucking hate it. That's worse than feeding bread to ducks, isn't it? Feeding bread to ducks, that's not a bad idea. So my big issue at the minute is still the vegan thing. Yeah, I've still got a problem with veganism. I find it to be a cult. They're just taking hold of one truth and extrapolating it, you know? Until it gets to the point where it's ridiculous. Now the stats that you hear on all these documentaries are always American stats. And you'll notice that next time you look. Next time you watch one of your fucking documentaries and you're thinking, like in the back of your mind the first time you watch it, you think, okay, it's saying America, but it means in general. But it's not. It's not in general at all. It's literally just America that life is that fucked up. If you don't live in America, don't pay it any attention whatsoever. Like, have a look at the bottom of the page. It says, like, it'll say America, or even a state in America. Come on, baby. Whatever. So yeah, I'm calling it a cult. Because of the way that they indoctrinate people and then they take them away from their friends and family. They make it so that it's like an us and them mentality. So they're all like following these same rules, right? Which is cult-like behaviour, basically. When every member of a society is given the same role, therefore they've all got the same role to play, right? Then the rewards and the punishments are heightened greatly, because absolutely everybody understands what's right and what's wrong in that miniature society, right? And this is why you get 30% of the vegans who watch my anti-vegan videos watch less than a second of it before they press the dislike button. They don't even watch the video. They just turn the video on specifically so that they can press the dislike button. Okay? Now this is cult-like mentality, when you're not even willing to listen to alternative points of view, because you've been indoctrinated to think that they are the enemy. They can't possibly say anything, you know, because I know what's right. Do you see where I'm coming from? They're unable to take on opposing viewpoints and therefore unable to adapt and change their mind and evolve like a normal human being. Therefore, they're in a cult. And it doesn't even matter at that point. Everything they could be saying might be true, but the very fact that it's cult mentality makes it poisonous, right? So even if everything they had was pure facts, the cult part of it would still be worth fighting against. However, they don't. Everything they say isn't true. It's all bullshit. And now for something completely different. Let's talk about happy things now that I've got that off my chest. I've got that off my chest now. We could talk about other bullshit, right? So basically, as I've noticed and as you've noticed, I'm sure, the audience on these videos steadily drops. Down to about 7 or 6. The closer to now that you get. So basically what happens is, people come across these videos, they check them out, and they realise there's literally no content here. It's literally just a guy walking his dogs and babbling nonsense to himself, right? There's no reason for anyone to be here. It's all bullshit. And that's kind of what I expected. I thought that my subscribers were going to drop, but they haven't dropped. But the view counter has dropped dramatically. So sadly, these vlogs are having the opposite effect to what I would have liked. I would have liked it if they brought out the people who, you know, wanted to view my content, because it's a personal channel, right? So it shouldn't matter what bullshit I post on here. It should be roughly the same amount of views, unless I'm touching on something that people are interested in, you know, in which case the views would go up. But, you know, I'd like a regular audience on a channel like this, or no audience at all. Makes perfect sense to me. Does that make sense at all? Try that shit again. So yeah, basically I was expecting that there would be maybe a small group of viewers who enjoyed watching this content for whatever reason they got out of it, because my personality is entertaining to them or some shit like that, who knows, and that my subscribers would drop, because the people who'd subscribed to me for bad reasons, for no reason at all basically, those people would leave because they'd get sick of seeing my content appearing. So the exact opposite's happened. My subscribers have gone up, but my view count has gone down. So you're just a big overgrown duck, and I'm not scared of you. So obviously the views is what it all comes down to, you know. I was hoping that I'd be able to sort of wheedle out the ones that wanted to be here, but sadly I've kind of sent them away almost, you know. They're getting sick of it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this is going to be the last vlog for a while, and it's not even going to be an interesting one. It's going to be just as boring as all the others. Nothing exciting happening, and after this I'm taking a break from the old vlogging idea just for a bit, and we'll see over the next couple of months what happens to my view count or what happens to my subscriber counts, and then I'll do update videos every now and then, you know. I'll keep you up to date with what's going on and shit, but I'm not going to be doing these daily videos because I've got nothing to talk about. There's nothing interesting in it for you guys, you know. There's literally no reason for these videos to exist, I guess. I mean, basically it's a point of reference, isn't it? It's so that in the future, when I get into arguments with people and they're like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Who even are you? I'll be able to point them at these videos if they can't find them themselves and just be like, well, that's me. Go check it out. That's me. I'm a human being just like anybody else. I've got thoughts and opinions and shit just like anybody else. Do you know what I mean? because they see something like my rants channel is not called Johnny G, right? It's called Hysteria because it's dealing with subjects, you know what I mean? It's not about me, it's about the hysteria. So they see that and they think automatically, because it isn't my name and it's not a picture of me, that therefore it's a troll account, which doesn't make any sense at all. It's like, oh, CITV, that's not called, I don't know, Ian Watkins or whatever. It's called CITV and it's got a logo, therefore it's not a real person. I mean, fuck off. In my opinion, you want to know my opinion on trolls? There's no such thing as trolls. There are fucking retards, right, who genuinely believe some retarded shit, and then there are people who find it amusing to pretend to be those people. But either way, those opinions actually exist. That's the reason that it works. When you say, oh yeah, that guy's just been taken in by a troll, he believes that shit, that fucking troll, you know, legit thinks that, it's because there are people in the world who think like that. It doesn't matter if that exact individual genuinely believes what they're saying or not. Up to a point. I mean, you can get trolled hard sometimes, but that's just understanding human nature. You've got to, like, accept the fact that they're having a laugh at a certain point. If they say something really ridiculous, really retarded, just be like, oh, you're just having a laugh, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But aside from that, well, even including that, I don't think trolls exist. I think it's a way of people to ignore dissent. Any dissenting opinions can just be ignored by calling them a troll. So then everybody's a fucking troll. Do you know what I mean? Like, suddenly anybody who doesn't agree with you is a troll. And it gets ridiculous. It gets to the point at which you just gotta laugh and say you can't honestly believe that you're classifying these people correctly as trolls, because, you know, that right there is a very popular opinion or whatever. There's loads of people who think that, and rather than, like, accept that opinion or try to refute it or any of that, you're just going to ignore it and call it troll, you know? Absolutely pathetic. Steve Shives, I'm looking at you. So yeah, at the minute I've got a lot of mini projects in the works. I really want to do this, like, final response video to vegans, but obviously they've got so many convoluted arguments. Like, there's so many different angles that you've got to come at them from, because they refuse to, like, they just tell me I'm wrong, right? They just come out of nowhere and they go, well, you're wrong, you're uneducated, you don't know what you're talking about. But they won't give me a direction to fire in, you know what I mean? They refuse to actually give me some points that I can then refute. So instead, the only option I've got is to go through pretty much every decent vegan argument I can come across and refute as many of them as possible, in order to try to build, you know, some kind of established position. Because I just take my position for granted. I already know all this bullshit. But vegans spread lies and propaganda, which I would love to say that's wrong, actually. You know, what you think about that is actually completely backwards. But they won't say what it is that they think. They're just like, oh, you're wrong. Well, how am I wrong? Tell me why I'm wrong. And then I'll tell you why you're fucking wrong to think that. But no, it's just you wrong. So that's not helping anyone. It's not changing anything. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I've got some videos to put together to make my case that veganism is a cult, and that most of what they say is bullshit, and that they're making you believe bullshit, because you don't want to look into the stats. If somebody says to you, this is what a factory farm looks like, there are cows that live in this kind of factory farm, right, and it's getting worse, you're happy to accept that. You're not going to go out of your way to look up statistics about factory farms and see how common they actually are. You don't know that it's only 7% in places like Canada. It might be even less than that in England. I don't know, because I haven't seen the English stats yet. It's only America where shit like this is an actual problem. But you don't know that. You're not told that information. You sure as shit not going to go look for it, are you? You don't want to know. You don't want to see it. Whoa! Nearly went. Fucking wind. I hate the wind so fucking much. Some of you might know, but most of you probably don't, that I'm making a silly little cartoon just for a laugh. It's just a silly cartoon for no reason at all. other than to do it, you know, other than just because I've never made an animation before, so I'd like to have that on my, you know, ticked off my bucket list kind of thing. Make an animation. Ha! Done that now. You know, whatever. Ow, poking myself in the eye with my own hair. This is getting beyond a joke. Fucking wind. It doesn't do anything to help anyone. Fucking wind. Ooh, I'm pollen. I need to move about. I don't need to move about. That's what the bees were invented for. My eye's still watering. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that animation made. I made like a scene just to try shit out, see how it works, and I was pretty impressed with it. I'd like to remake that entire scene, but it did take a long time, so I might just keep it how it is and continue from that point, you know. And my juggling compilation, that's going to be fun. Is that it? Just that little growl. You know when you're being filmed, don't you? Fucking wind. I hate it so much. So yeah, I've got that vegan video to make. I've got the cartoons to finish. I've got a juggling compilation, but obviously that's not going to end until I actually am satisfied with the way I can juggle. But it's getting somewhere. It's getting somewhere. What else have I got? Oh yeah, I reached 2 landmarks on my fucking sports channel. Sports/circus skills, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, 2 goals have been finished, so I have to make a new VDJ compilation, which is virtual DJ. Now the problem is, I don't have my studio anymore, so I don't really have any space for my decks, which means I've got to kind of try to do it without the decks, really. I can't get them out of storage. I've got nowhere to set them up. They're only little. It's only like a tiny little box, not even the size of a laptop, about half the size of a laptop. That's all it is. But obviously I was never that good to begin with, so I've got to set the damn thing up again, or I would have to. I'd have to set it all up again. Oh, I wouldn't even be able to set it up, because I remember there were certain wires that were a fuck about, but I'd need my CD player as well, really. Ooh. So yeah, anyway, I've reached these 2 milestones. One of them is for a new compilation, so I've got to decide a subject for the compilation, and I've totally forgotten what the other one was. It wasn't the reading comments one, and it wasn't the day in a life thing, thank fuck. Because I tell you what, filming a day in a life takes like a week, because you got to film each section individually, you know what I mean? I ain't got a camera or a memory card that could fit an entire day's worth of events in, and you've got to film it all before you can edit it down. It's silly how much really, you know, you've got to film a hell of a lot more than you know you need, because shit goes wrong, you know, and there's certain angles that you need to capture that you just don't get the chance to catch the first time round or whatever. Beware low-flying bicycles. And yeah, so I've got 2 videos to do for that, plus the juggling compilation, which will take a while, but it'll be there eventually. I've got the cartoon to do for this channel. I've got the documentary thing to do for the Hysteria channel, and a bunch of other stuff that I could do on that channel if I wanted to. Like, there's all sorts of shit in there, like Trump and Black Lives Matter and all that bullshit that everybody else goes on about. I don't want to bang on about that. I don't really find it that interesting. Like, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Who cares if a bunch of black people think they're superior to the rest of us? Like, there's always groups of black people and groups of white people who think they're superior to the rest of us, and probably groups of yellow people that think they're superior to the rest of us. In the case of yellow people, if they're talking about maths or chess, they're probably right. But as anybody with a brain will tell you, we're all equal. And anybody who really knows what's going on is going to tell you that it's not the fact that one group is superior to another group, and even if it was, it wouldn't be racial. You just got to focus on like where you are right now versus where you used to be, where you've come from. Where are you going versus where you've been, you know what I mean? Now, in my case, personally, I'm pretty much on a slippery downhill slope. I'm kind of letting it all fuck up around me. But that's because I don't care. I've got no reason to care. But if you do care, then go make a success of yourself, mate. Stop blaming other motherfuckers for, like, the colour of your skin or, you know, the sexual organs you were born with or whatever. Just stop it. Just get on with your life. So yeah, this is the end for a while, guys. I don't mean for it to be negative in any way. I know I've ranted a little bit. Nice to get shit off my chest. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. And if you've been here from the beginning all the way to this point, you know, just know that you are the only person who's done that. No, I'm messing. Look, I love the support, and honestly I just want to say thank you all. In the future I'll post like update videos, you know, shit like that, reading comments videos. But there's going to be, I mean, if you look right back on my channel, there was another series of vlogs that I did a while back on bicycles. And this series has been like walking the dog. You know, it's a good time to stop it. There's not much else that can happen. So, you know, we'll move on. And maybe later on this year, or maybe at the start of next year, I'll have a different series of vlogs. Probably show you some other facet of my existence. Why not? There's plenty more to go around. But until then, guys and girls, it has been great. It really has been a laugh. So I've enjoyed your company. I hope you've enjoyed mine. Take it easy and I'll see you in the future. Bye.
Like the rest, he's got something else, and though I can't describe, I know it makes me
saying if lions run faster, they're superior to humans because they can't run as fast. Unfortunately, lions are poached every day. We have conquered every animal on this planet. So,
I'm gonna add
That's only because our brains are superior to all other animals. That's why we find technology. That's why we find everything external to our bodies. We don't think out our bodies.
Capture. Yeah, go on. No, it's just you haven't got to wait this stuff through. Oh yeah. Hasn't got me in the nose.